morning, and welcome to year number 5 of Pitt to the Point. I'm Nick Bennick.
And I'm Farah Hindawi. Pitt to the Point is your weekly 1-hour Emmy Award-nominated news and magazine program that airs live from the state-of-the-art Pitt studios.
Pitt to the Point covers everything from the University of Pittsburgh to the City of Pittsburgh, as well as national and international events, news, people, and stories.
We're back with your favorite segments such as Alumni Spotlight and Clubbing at Pitt, which showcases one of our amazing student-run clubs here on campus.
We'll feature stories from our incredible University of Pittsburgh regional campuses and tell you the top headlines from our neighborly journalist-in-arms, the Pitt News.
And we'll be joined live by our affiliate college and high school partners and their student anchors, who will tell you what's going on in their schools and their communities. Now, we're statewide, from Pittsburgh to Lancaster to Philadelphia.
And of course, we'll continue to bring you the most up-to-date news from the world of politics, sports, business and technology, medicine, and entertainment from the City of Pittsburgh, as well as the University of Pittsburgh.
Here comes the commissioner, Roger Goodell.
Pittsburgh, here we are!
Nick, did you know about this? That a great NFL draft tradition is to boo Roger Goodell as he comes on stage? I wish I had that. Anyways, today marks the second day of the 2026 NFL draft with events and entertainment happening all over the city.
In the 2026 NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana.
And the celebration is on in the Mendoza household and party.
Just like yesterday, the draft will be broadcasted on ESPN, ABC, NFL Network, and ESPN Deportes. The draft's entertainment series will feature free headline performances by Wiz Khalifa and Bret Michaels today, followed by Kane Brown on Saturday.
Fans can attend the draft experience for free, but must register via the NFL One Pass app. Nick, I have never said this before, but I should just stop talking. Not because I want to, but because we have our city sports reporter Colin Ferguson here, who'll be interviewing a voice you must have heard while watching a game before. Colin?
Good morning and welcome to the North Shore here in Pittsburgh. I'm standing just outside of Acrisure Stadium here, where just on the other side of the building, the Steelers made the first of their league-leading 12 selections in the 2026 NFL Draft, selecting the player they believe will be most beneficial to the franchise for the future.
And with the 21st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Max Ihanachur, tackle, Arizona State.
Now that the first round has come and gone, there are 11 more selections for the Steelers through this weekend. But before we get into that, I'm joined by someone today who can shed some light on the first round selection and the expectations for the season to come. Please welcome the voice of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mr. Rob King.
Colin, thanks very much. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Now, obviously, there's a big reason why you and I are talking today. Just last night, right behind where I'm standing right now, the Steelers spent their first round selection when they took Max Ihanachur at pick number 21. How do you believe he'll be able to contribute to this year, and why was that pick the one that was made?
I love the pick because I think that when you're drafting 21st, like the Steelers are, and the Steelers very frequently draft in the 20s, it is very difficult to get certain positions. Cornerback on defense, edge rusher, quarterback on offense, offensive tackle. This is a young man who I think his best football is ahead of him. He's only been playing football for a few years. He's got all the requisite traits that you want, the size, the nasty demeanor, the athleticism, that would, I think, had he been playing football a little bit longer, made him a higher pick. You just can't get players like this normally at 21 with this sort of potential. And I think he can help the team this year, but also I think he can help the team, Colin, for years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's hoping, last season, the offensive unit was at times touch and go. Where do you believe that now that you've added Ihanachor to this roster. How do you believe this offense is going to improve from last season?
Well, I think they're not done. I mean, they've got 11 more picks. You know, they, as you mentioned, they added Michael Pittman in the offseason. He's an outstanding wide receiver. They added Rico Dowdle to help as well with the running back tandem with he and Jalen Warren. I'm anticipating Aaron Rodgers being back. I think that the Steelers have continued to add to their core by grabbing guys like Pittman and Dowdle. I know that Kenny Gainwell was a team MVP a year ago, but I think Dowdle's a good fit for what they want to do. And I believe that they're going to draft probably 2 wide receivers, maybe as soon as today, but certainly over today and tomorrow as the NFL draft concludes. So I think the Steelers have taken steps in the right direction to improve their offense, big steps, but I think more steps are coming.
And then in terms of offseason additions, you know, you mentioned Michael Pittman. Obviously, there's a brand new coaching staff in here headlined by Mike McCarthy. DC Patrick Graham is here as well. You bring in corner Jamel Dean. These are just the highlights of some of the offseason additions for the Steelers. How do you believe that this new roster is going to evolve under Mike McCarthy, a new head coach, a rarity for the black and gold, and the new players that they brought in so far?
Yeah, I think that Omar Khan and his staff have done a wonderful job of continuing to get better and better. And I think we saw that this year in free agency. We mentioned a couple of the guys. Now, Pittman came over via a trade, Dowdle in free agency. But the team has been able to be more selective in free agency. They went out and got Jamel Dean. I just mentioned a moment ago how difficult it is to find starting corners. Jamel Dean, Jaquan Brisker, a local guy from Gateway High School who's going to also bolster the secondary. They added to their defensive line. So they, instead of having, you know, multiple holes to fill, they're able to target certain holes and I think get guys because of that, you know, maybe a little bit higher caliber player. You know, fans should also remember that the Steelers won 10 games 2 years ago and they won 10 games in the AFC North this past season. I think the roster's gotten stronger. So I think they're in an excellent position to continue to evolve as a team and get better as a team on the field.
And then in terms of this defense, the highest payroll in football last year, $158 million, and did not quite meet the expectations. Obviously, the Steeler identity and the Steeler way is that rough and rowdy defense that they have. Are we preparing for maybe more of a traditional Steelers defense this year?
Well, I do think it's going to be improved, and I think it's going to be improved because of the reasons I mentioned. They got Dean and they got Brisker, and you know they added the defensive line, and I don't think they're finished yet. I think they're going to continue to add in the draft. I wouldn't be surprised if they drafted a safety, maybe an inside linebacker, perhaps another large body up front. You know, for whatever reason, and I think some of it was perhaps you know some of the players they picked up last year in free agency not living up to what they thought. They got off to a slow start. There were some injuries, but I think this is a defense capable of outperforming where they were a year ago. We'll see. As you mentioned, Colin, new coaching staff, so that means, you know, changes. And so it's not something we've seen in Pittsburgh for quite some time, but it's a well-regarded staff that Mike McCarthy has put together, Patrick Graham, the new defensive coordinator. So I think the team is in good hands, and I think the personnel is better. And I think the Steelers' schedule is going to be very difficult this year again, but I think the Steelers can once again be contenders. And I think where we sit right now, you know, I think they're the top team in the AFC North. They're the defending champs. The other teams have to come get them.
Absolutely. Rob, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Colin, for having me on.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. Now that the first round is over and done, there is plenty more draft content for you as we send it back to Oakland to the anchors with more information. Nick Farabaugh.
Woo! Colin is always coming in hot with City Sports. Thanks, Colin.
Now, the fun doesn't stop there with us. There are several team coverage locations where all 32 teams and national media will gather to cover the draft.
Locations include North Shore, Point State Park, and right across the river, Acrisure Stadium. Individual team websites will provide special coverage for their specific drafts and needs. Do you know what time it is, Nick?
Yes, I do. It's time for you to get a watch.
No, stop. It's time for another interview. This time from someone who's a far better writer than you, Nick. For more, we go to our Pitt sports reporter, David Cook. David?
Good morning, Pittsburgh. I am here in Market Square, just about a mile from Acrisure Stadium and the NFL Draft. I'm here today with Nick Farabaugh, who is from Penn Live and the co-host of the Steelers Breakdown. How you doing, Nick?
I am doing extremely well, David. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you being here. So we'll jump straight into it. Let's talk about some Pitt football and their path to the draft today. Do you think there's anybody coming around getting drafted today?
I do think Kyle Lewis, the linebacker, is going to get drafted today at some point. Probably round 3 is probably about right for him. He is a uber athletic linebacker. The size questions at linebacker are going to be looming there, but I think he's got fluid enough hips to play at nickel, play at safety. And teams really like that. And there's going to be a few really good fits for him in this draft, I think. I think the Steelers here in Pittsburgh could maybe be a pick for him. 3 third-round picks. They've shown some interest in him. They need a linebacker. They need a nickel type. He's a unique player, and I think teams have taken notice of his character. I think they've taken notice of the production he's put up at Acrisure Stadium throughout these years. He is a very, very talented player that's very highly touted throughout the NFL.
Absolutely. His versatility is something that's really valuable in the modern game of football right now. So we'll talk about any other Pitt players that you think could be drafted, if not today, tomorrow.
Yeah, after Kyle Lewis, I think, the best chance there is Desmond Reed. He's small, he's 5'6", ran a 4.58 40, which is not great, I think, for that size. So I'm kind of wondering if he does get drafted. He could go in the 7th round, though. This is a very weak class, and he's got return ability. He can punt and kick return. He's very dynamic in space. So if you watch the tape, I think you can certainly see him being drafted. Outside of that, I think we're looking at a lot more of priority undrafted guys like Deuce Spawn, guys like Tamon Lynham. Jeff Percy. I think some guys that have some NFL interest, but maybe not draftable interest. So I think we'll see some Pitt players in camps, but maybe not being drafted. So we'll see if Desmond Reed gets his name called, because that's the other one.
Absolutely. Kind of a down year for Pitt in the draft right now, but I think Panthers have a long history of getting players on the Steelers here. Do you have a personal favorite?
Yeah, I mean, throughout the years, Pitt has had a history of just sending guys even through camps. I think of Quadri Allison has come through before. I remember there's just a few guys outside of that I've talked to throughout my years. But I'd say my favorite guy, to kind of watch and cover on the Steelers that was a Pitt alum was James Conner. Just such a high character player. He puts his body on the line every time he goes out there, runs tough behind his pads. Just an absolute salt to the earth player and person. If you know his journey, you know how really inspiring that is. And he's still going in the NFL over there in Arizona now, but he was phenomenal with the Steelers, taking over for Le'Veon Bell. And he has proven that, he's continued to prove that, and had cancer. I mean, it's just impressive. He's had a decade-long career now. That is a crazy thing to think about given his journey.
Absolutely. It's an unbelievable journey that like you said. And he's actually back in town this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, today, in fact.
Yes. Yeah, he is. He's, I believe, going to announce a pick for the Cardinals. How do you feel about that when you take Jeremiah Love at 3, right? I think that's kind of unfortunate, but it's going to be really cool to see him back, kid from Erie McDowell, Pitt, to the Steelers. I think he's going to get a big-time ovation, because I think there's going to be a lot of people out there, and City of Pittsburgh, I think it still has a lot of love for James Conner.
Well, I was thinking about some of the Western PA guys who might get drafted today, if not specifically from Pitt. Do you have any guys that might fit that?
Yeah, I think you can see a few guys, the Mount Lebo kids, Alex Teska and Eli Heidenreich. I think Eli Heidenreich is a guy, from Navy that has played receivers, played running back. I think he's going to get drafted today or early tomorrow. He's going to be in the green room today. They invited him down to the NFL draft. I think that's going to be a really cool story. He has gotten some Christian McCaffrey comparisons. He is a really high-level player. Teska's probably going to hear his name tomorrow. I think Joe Cooper, actually, from Slippery Rock, could get drafted maybe day 3, not today. And then, Tyron Montgomery. John Carroll's not super local, but the flag football background, how about it? He becomes a wide receiver here in an actual D3 program, and he was really good at the Senior Bowl. He was good throughout the process. A lot of teams really like his game. I think he has a shot to go tomorrow. So maybe not today. Eli Heidenreich is, I think, the one to watch, but I'm not sure. I think we're going to see a few of them tomorrow come off the board, and you'll see some of those Western PA ties.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you, Nick, very much. Good luck the rest of the year with Penn Live, and we'll see how the rest of this draft goes.
Thanks for having me, David.
Absolutely. For Pitt to the Point, I am your Pitt sports reporter, David Cook. Back to you, Farah. Nick.
We've exposed you to so many new faces so far, but let's see how your favorite on-air reporters have been covering this draft, including a spotlight on Black-owned barbershops.
So tune in to our next segment to see how the draft is spotlighting the city of Pittsburgh and vice versa here on Pitt to the Point.
I'm so honored and humbled to officially welcome you to the University of Pittsburgh.
Never in our 238-year history has a Pitt education been so much in demand. It's possible at Pitt is not just something we say when you walk in the door. Hail to each of you, hail to possible, and hail to Pitt.
Thanks for tuning back in to Pitt to the Point. Happened to watch a story today that piques your curiosity? Want to find out more about what's going on in Pittsburgh? Visit our website.
That's right. If you want to find out more about the world of politics, medicine, business and technology, and more, log on to pittothepoint.com.
Not only can you see clips from today's show, but you can also read about the topics that interest you and more. Check it out at pittothepoint.com. And just in case you've forgotten, team coverage locations include North Shore, Point State Park, and Acrisure Stadium, where not 5, not 10, but all 32 teams will gather for the press coverage.
And make sure to check out their individual team websites, which we will provide special coverage for their specific drafts and needs.
Like bees to flowers, the draft has attracted fans from far and wide. City officials and Visit Pittsburgh has estimated that 500,000 to 700,000 fans have flooded in to watch this historic moment for Pittsburgh, and that number might increase to 800,000.
The NFL has officially announced that the 16 top prospects will attend the draft in person at the stadium's green room. Some notable attendees include Ohio State safety Caleb Downs and linebacker Sonny Styles, as well as Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson.
Unfortunately, there is someone missing. The number 1 overall pick Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza has chosen to watch the draft from his home in Miami. Since Pittsburgh Regional Transit is offering free light rail service, or the T, for all 3 days, there are other ways that the city has and will continuously transform. For more, we have our City Beat reporter, Lucy Landy. Lucy?
The NFL Draft has brought activities all across the North Shore and downtown. Food, drink, activities, and experiences have brought a record-breaking 320,000 fans to the first day of the draft. but it's safe to assume this is a lot of people's first time traversing the Steel City.
This is our draft. It's not the NFL's. This is Pittsburgh's. This is our time to shine.
The 2026 NFL Draft will attract 500 to 700,000 football fans to the Steel City over the course of 3 days. But these numbers have left many Pittsburghers wondering, how will everyone fit?
Look, it's going to be hard to get around. I'm not going to lie. It's going to take you an extra half hour, sometimes an hour. But think about the experience that you're going to have.
Amidst road closures and packed parking throughout the North Shore and downtown, Pittsburgh Regional Transit is encouraging attendees to use public transportation. Pittsburgh's light rail, the T, and the Monongahela Incline will be fare-free during the draft after a donation from Sheetz. Similarly, Pittsburgh's temporary draft-designed bus routes, the Football Flyers, are fare-free following donations from the Pittsburgh Organizing Committee and the Pittsburgh Foundation. To accommodate the additional lines, traffic, and riders, standard PRT lines have been adjusted. Most bus routes will operate on their less frequent Saturday schedules, while some are fully cut for the 3-day period. As for the T, train cars will be run more often for shorter, more consistent wait times. Despite the traffic, Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor said this influx of tourists will be worth it.
This is for us. You know, the NFL draft's going to be gone Saturday night. You know, now all of this benefit, all the infrastructure is for Pittsburghers. So we want you to be here.
Almost $19 million public dollars have been spent to put on the draft. The draft is estimated to generate $115 to $215 million in direct local spending, alongside an additional $3.8 to $5.6 million in Allegheny County taxes.
I guarantee you they're going to be surprised, they're going to be happy, they're going to come back because we have a lot to offer. And now it's just getting that message out to people from arts, from culture, trails, the point, the views. We got it all going right now.
The special draft transit routes will continue until the end of the day on Saturday. For Pitt to the Point, I'm City Beat reporter Lucy Landy. Farah, Nick?
Thanks, Lucy. I hope you all have been taking notes.
In the midst of finals, we are not the only news outlet covering the draft on campus. Let's see what our fellow journalists at the Pitt News have drafted up in their newsroom as we head closer to summer break.
I'm Sarah George. I'm a senior staff writer at the Pitt News. Our article this week was about the NFL draft and how Oakland's preparing for it. So because there's so many people coming into the city, they're gonna be all over, and a lot of people are gonna be staying in Oakland. A lot of the hotels around here are going to be booked up a lot more than they have in the past. We talked to a few people who worked at local hotels, and they told us that even though there are probably going to be more people in the area and more people around Oakland, they're not really treating it any different because, of course, graduation is going to be in a few weeks as well, so they're preparing for that. So it's kind of just hotels expect people to come in, so they're kind of used to there being a lot of people around. We also talked to a few Oakland businesses, just along Forbes and like in the Pitt, Oakland area. And they kind of told us that they're going to be doing like different hours for some of them. I know Hello Bistro said that they're changing their hours so that they can serve breakfast in the morning, which they've never done before. So that's just to bring in more business. The Colombian spot was telling us that they changed their menu a little bit too. So that seems to be like a local trend of like people adding a little pizzazz to their businesses just to like bring more people in and get their names more known because there's going to be so many tourists around. So just overall, I think people here are excited to have more tourists and excited to be able to get their names out more.
I hope you never grow out of watching Pitt to the Point, unlike Farah's roots.
I said I was going to fix them up this week, Nick. Anyways, let's segue in style to Black-owned barbershops with our business and tech reporter, Jade Davis. Jade?
With the NFL draft beginning, many of those in the community are looking for a place to get a fresh new haircut. Luckily, I spoke to Bam Cuts, who is an award-winning barber in Pittsburgh. He has worked with many of those that are athletes as well as locals in the community, making sure that they look great for this week's event.
My name is Bam Burrell, go by Bam Cut. I own Sanctuary Barbershop down in the Strip District. On Best in the City for the Pittsburgh paper 3 years in a row. Currently cutting hair for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The first time I won was like really, it was really big. It was something I wanted. I own a one-chair shop. So on the strip, so like everything is based solely on me, independent. So like trying to beat shops with multiple people, it was already, you know, uphill battle. And so beating the first time and kind of winning as a one-chair shop, it just elevated the confidence. There's always a possibility, but I feel like guys are going to treat this as like a vacation. When you go on vacation, you already have your hair done. You already have a haircut. So there may be some last minute cuts, and I'm pretty sure they'll call and like reach out. So, you know, we'll just see. You just gotta kind of be flexible, see what happens. It helps. It gives a sense of comfort because in the strip, I'm the only black barber in the strip. So there's also black people that live here. So it's just a familiar face to look, I can get a haircut. People come from Lawrenceville, like the north side. It's a different experience here. So next would be extension. I'll start looking to see where I want to place a bigger barbershop and invite more barbers in, hire more staff, and just grow the business environment. So I went with the name Sanctuary because this is my sanctuary, but I also want to share that with my clients. So this could be like their safe space to kind of just come relax, kick their feet up, watch TV, have something to drink.
BAM Cuts is looking forward to making new connections in the Pittsburgh area and finding new clients that need a new cut. For Pitt to the Point, I'm business and tech reporter Jade Davis. Fada, Nick?
Thanks, Jade.
As a curly head, I absolutely adore all this hair love we've been seeing in the studio today. And Pitt's alumni can't seem to get enough of it either.
That's right, Fada. Let's take a look at our alumni spotlight and her love for natural hair.
I was in sociology. That was my major. And I didn't think that I would do anything that was outside of kind of research and human focused in a different way. And so when I got accepted into the social work program, I knew that I would do something that was going to have to do with like healing, but I didn't, and helping others, but I didn't know it would be kind of in a non-traditional sense. So really my training at the University of Pittsburgh actually helped me get the skills that I need to do what I do now. I come from a long line of barbers and hairstylists in my family. I always look to them as the experts in that area. But no, I never saw myself going into the beauty industry at all. It just happened that I fell into it because what we're seeing now is a return back to relaxers and kind of like people being anti-loose natural hair. It's like I'm either going to lock it or put a relaxer back in it. And my biggest legacy is that I did a lot of the work with healing and helping women who are in my age group and older learn how to see their beauty the way that it naturally exists. But I'm so proud that like there's several generations because of my work that never had to have a chemical relaxer put in their hair if they so chose not to, you know, so that's my biggest legacy. Their whole mindsets about the way they see themselves is different.
Well, who knew that hair could be so relevant to covering the draft?
Like they say, good hair days make the best days. But Nick, what does high school and the City of London have in common? They are both places that serve questionable lunch choices. Just kidding, I don't eat lunch. So stick around when we return back to Pitt to the Point.
Can you hear me? This is interesting. Is this on? Can y'all see me? Do I just talk?
Pitt basketball beating WVU in the backyard brawl.
Favorite Pitt memories running out during the backyard brawl. Pitt's a beautiful place. I'm graduating in a couple of weeks. I'm really sad about it. I really am so grateful for the time I've had here.
My favorite Pitt memory was defending my thesis this year.
And ever since the first day of classes, we've been friends because we're directionally challenged.
My favorite memory was all the times I spent with my friends.
I should do it. Working on a movie with one of my good friends.
My favorite Pitt memory was winning Backyard Brawl at like the last second because I was going to leave.
Going to the Pitt volleyball games and seeing them beat Penn State and Louisville and all the people.
My favorite memory is the photo shoot we just had for the ballet club at Pitt.
My favorite Pitt memory this year was winning the Backyard Brawl. H2P, baby.
And I just finished my last German class and I started tearing up because after 5 years we finally did it. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. It's like nice out, it's beautiful, and I'm like so happy. Bye!
What if you had over 30,000 big thinkers and believers behind you in a city connected to everything? Well, you'd probably find yourself doing something truly incredible.
The U.S. ceasefire with Iran has been extended indefinitely by President Trump this week. This came on Tuesday, one day before the original ceasefire was to end, as well as Israel and Lebanon have extended their own ceasefire this morning, and it will continue on for 3 more weeks.
Despite the agreement still standing, tensions are still high with the blockade at the Strait of Hormuz.
President Trump ordered that the U.S. military was to shoot and kill any Iranian boats laying mines into the strait.
The deployment of mines into the water significantly increases time until ships may pass through, as demining the strait could take 6 months.
With a large portion of the world's crude oil supply coming through the strait, prices are still extremely high.
2 of Iran's advanced ballistic missiles in a pro-government rally, showing Iranians shouting "Death to America." While U.S. Central Command put out its own message, listing the warships, military aircraft, and drones making up the U.S. Navy's own blockade south of the strait.
Ever since I moved to Pittsburgh, the fire trucks have held quite a loud presence.
But this isn't anything like that. Let's take a look at the junior firefighters from our friends at Riverside High, where we are joined with Cheyenne Smith and Colin Locke. Cheyenne, Colin?
Good morning, Nick and Farabaugh.
Our package takes you inside a story fueled by courage, commitment, and community service. From Riverside High School to the front lines of emergency response training, I'm sharing my personal journey as a volunteer junior firefighter. Through hands-on experience and intense preparation, I discovered what it truly means to serve others in times of crisis.
It is estimated that 96% of Pennsylvania's firefighters are volunteers compared to the 60% nationwide average. With less volunteers, it is a concern. Junior firefighting is one step taken to help train students ages 14 to 17 and help fill the void by providing age-appropriate training.
I hope my story inspires the next generation, encouraging others to step up, get involved, and consider joining their local volunteer fire departments. This is my junior firefighter journey on Pitt to the Point.
Hazardous anomaly detected.
Muller and the 21-2s en route.
Good morning, Riverside. In this episode, we are taking you to the fire station and introducing you to the Junior Firefighter program that the state of Pennsylvania offers and showing you how Riverside students are involved. Firefighting is the essential job of containing destructive fires to protect people, property, and the environment. There are career and volunteer fire departments. Career fire departments are present in the area, but with strict labor laws, they are unable to have a junior firefighter element. Junior firefighting is a youth program connected to volunteer fire departments that is designed for teenagers interested in firefighting, EMS, and public service. Junior firefighters participate in training drills, daily equipment checks, and learn to pull hose, throw ladders, use tools, hit hydrants, among other things. They help with community events, fundraisers, and station duties such as mopping, washing dishes, and sweeping the bays. Junior firefighters provide fire departments with members who can be trained and learn from a young age and be an able-bodied and well-respected member of the station after they turn 18. Junior firefighters stand out for college, having received multiple safety certifications. They are more experienced for trade programs and have a lot of mechanical, communication, teamwork, leadership, and medical skills, which assist with future job applications. Currently in Riverside, there are 4 junior firefighters and more than a combined total of 15 junior firefighters in other local high schools. Today, I will be talking to the junior firefighters of Riverside High School.
I'm Shane.
I'm Jesse.
What department are you currently volunteering at?
In North Slickley Township.
Both of you?
Yes.
What age were you when you began volunteering?
I was 17.
I just turned 16. I think it builds a level of self-respect and maturity.
Shay, do you have anything else to say other than yes?
No.
No? Okay. If you are interested, you should find a volunteer fire department in your area. Look at the department website or social media pages. Search for Junior Firefighter Program or Explorer Program. Email the department, consult a member, or walk into the department during business hours. Thank you, and I hope to see you on scene one day. This program allows those who participate to form strong bonds with their peers and community in the best way possible.
Thank you for allowing us to share one of the incredible endeavors a number of our students take part in.
Back to you, Pitt to the point.
Thank you. Now let's swerve to Franklin County to hear from Waynesboro Area High School. We are joined with Carly Smith and Mick Torbica. Carly, Mick?
Thank you, Nick and Farah.
With help from our district's tech team, a $2,000 grant, and the support of the University of Pittsburgh's College in the Classroom program, we were able to create a live broadcast at our school.
We can earn college credits while having fun and sharing announcements with our school's community.
I collaborated with my classmate Bella to explain our evolution from our small YouTube channel in 2013 to the formation of our very own live broadcast in 2025.
Welcome to the first broadcast of Tribe Time. I'm Zach Forney.
And I'm Kara Hess.
The Tribe Time class was established in 2013. It began as a compilation of pre-recorded videos used to document the Waynesboro High School experience and currently acts as a digital yearbook.
This class has evolved year after year, with the most recent evolution being the introduction of Tribe Time Live. Tribe Time Live was built and developed by 7 members of the class of 2026. The people you see on screen are called anchors.
They rely on the teleprompter, which is the screen that displays their script. The camera sits directly in front of that screen. Anchors are required to speak slowly in order to communicate their message effectively.
The person controlling the teleprompter also writes the script.
One of the most involved roles is that of our editors. They are in charge of transitioning between scenes and graphics using a software called OBS. They refer to the script to help with timing. This panel controls the microphones and audio.
We post all of our videos and lives on our YouTube channel, Wash as Tribe Time.
Make sure to like and subscribe, and as always,
Overall, this has been a great experience. We've grown a lot since the beginning and learned so many new things that will be helpful in our future endeavors.
Now, back to you guys.
Thanks, Carly and Mick.
If you've ever been frustrated about high ticket prices, you might have been onto something. Last week, a jury found that Ticketmaster and its parent company, Live Nation, were liable for damages.
The suit asserted that Ticketmaster operated as a monopoly and overcharged consumers with the lack of competition. A second trial will be held to decide on remedies.
Pitt's film department has a ton of great programs, and one of them takes place far beyond the US's border.
For more on our special guest from the Pitt in London program, we go to entertainment reporter Michaela Albers. Michaela?
The University of Pittsburgh offers a wide variety of opportunities and experiences for students to travel far and wide to get experience in their field of study. Today, we are joined by Sarah Joshi and her students from the Pitt in London program. Hello, Sarah and students. Thank you guys for joining us so much today.
Thank you so much for having us.
So there are two Pitt film programs, one Pitt in LA and Pitt in London. And would you be able to describe kind of the unique experiences that the Pitt students get from the London program?
Certainly. Well, obviously they get to study in London, where we're standing right now, which is a city that's rich in culture and the arts, and especially its film history. They take a new course actually now that we're doing in partnership with the British Film Institute, which is one of the preeminent national film archives and cultural organizations in the UK. And they get to work with leading practitioners in the industry who work in the local British television and film industry.
Wow, that sounds awesome. So it is to my knowledge that you guys actually just had the film screening for the student films that were made during this time in London. Could you guys describe the process these students went through in creating these short films?
Yes, I mean, I'd love to let my students also respond to that, but they've been spending the entire semester kind of working up to this moment today in which we screened their essay films that they've been working on. So maybe, Gracie, do you want to say a little bit about what you did?
Yeah, so for the cumulative of one of our classes, we worked to make an essay film. So this was what we presented today. And it was on whatever topic that we wanted. It had to partially pertain to London. I did mine relating to mental health and sort of how London has affected it for the better. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So I also did my film in relation to London. Mine was about different fashion consumption patterns in London and just interviewing different people within different areas of London and seeing how they consume different amounts and types of clothing. And it's been such a great experience to talk to different people in London and just seeing how people exist here versus back in Pittsburgh.
Sounds awesome, guys. And, one last question. This is for you, Sarah, but of course, the students can chime in too if they have any ideas. As the director of this program, where do you see the Pitt and London program going in the future? Do you have any future plans for the program? More studios for them to work with, more people to meet?
Definitely. I'm always looking for opportunities for the students to visit different, film and television sets, or to get to see the industry behind the scenes, or to network with different aspects of the industry that they might not typically encounter. So for instance, talking with people who work in sound or lighting or costume coordinating. So we'll just continue to grow the program by looking into new opportunities to connect the students with.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. And it looks like you guys are having some wonderful weather there in London. For Pitt to the Point, I'm entertainment reporter Michaela Albers. Farah, Nick?
Stories from abroad are always fun, but this next block coming up is all Pittsburgh.
When we return, we'll take a look at how residents are getting into their sporting frenzy, as well as a live look inside Acrisure Stadium.
So stay with us on our final episode of Pitt to the Point this year.
What if you had over 30,000 big thinkers and believers behind you in a city connected to everything? Well, you'd probably find yourself doing something truly incredible.
This morning, you take your place in this honored tradition. You take your place in a time of great challenge and even greater opportunity.
Community comes at the cost of your comfort zone. You don't just stumble upon community in college, you create it. I hope that your journey outside of your comfort zone eventually leads you to a community that welcomes you exactly as you are. Class of 2029, whatever you're feeling right now, I hope that sometime soon you feel at home.
You're why we believe it's possible at Pitt.
We each became a part of something larger than ourselves.
Paige Allen,
Thank you.
A lot is happening sports related in Pittsburgh this week, with the draft alone bringing a ton of different attractions.
To find out more, we go live to Accushire Stadium with our city sports reporter, Colin Ferguson. Colin?
Welcome back to Accushire Stadium. The National Football League has completely overtaken the Steel City with events and attractions from the North Shore to downtown and everywhere in between. Now, just last night, I was here before night one of the draft to experience some of these attractions on the North Shore and see what the NFL has brought for all to enjoy. Welcome back to the North Shore. We are just hours away from night one's official start of the NFL draft. Now, as a junior at the University of Pittsburgh, I have spent my fair share surrounded by Pitt sports, and I have found an affinity in my heart for the black and gold, but not one quite as large as the one I have for my New York Giants right here. Go Big Blue. We are going to explore now outside and around the NFL draft here on the North Shore, out at Point State Park, and we're going to see all the fun attractions you get to take part in as you get ready for night 1 and 2 of the NFL Draft.
I started by exploring the various food and drink stands scattered around the green lot, passing through the NFL's pop-up history museum before entering inside the NFL shop tent, where we toured the various team gear available. I found a Giants hat, which was pressed with the NFL Draft logo. After, I entered inside of Accushire Stadium, which hosts the Topps trading card tent, though I had my sights set on the NFL's Field Goal Challenge.
Heard it.
Very clearly, place kicking is not necessarily my forte, but if you think you can do better than I did, you're welcome to try. Friday and Saturday for rounds 2 through 7, all of the attractions we saw today and more will be open here on the North Shore, as well as in Point State Park and right on the other side of Accushire Stadium in the gold lot by the stage. Make sure to check it out. Now, all of these events and attractions are not just limited to night 1 of the draft, with everything you saw today and more being available through the remainder of draft weekend. A full itinerary can be found on the NFL One Pass app. From Pitt to the Point, I'm once again city sports reporter Colin Ferguson. Nick Farabaugh.
We've been following this draft for a while now. I've been listening to the same 3 songs while drinking the exact same coffee brand while we were writing this show. And I think I need a little bit of a celebratory fix to get me in the mood.
For more on how Pittsburgh rocked out in the Market Square, we once again go to entertainment reporter Michaela Albers. Michaela?
Market Square just debuted its $15 million makeover on Wednesday with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. After the ribbon was cut, Pittsburgh was officially kicked off with live music, mascots, and local restaurants. This celebration was not only to celebrate the NFL draft, but also Pittsburgh's continuous growth in its sense of community.
We said we gotta do something big downtown. We've gotta build community. A couple of years later, look at where we stand today. We're reopening Market Square, a central gathering place for our community.
Pittsburgh is a rugged city, football town. You know, it's a very integrated city, a lot of different cultures, a lot of food, but mostly rugged, you know, gridiron, you know, Steel City, you know what I'm saying? Rugged streets, you know what I'm saying? Asphalt, brick city, you know what I'm saying? That makes up the city of Pittsburgh. Football town, for sure we die and breathe and bleed the black and gold, you know what I'm saying? Steeler Nation, repping.
Pennsylvania is on the rise, and Pennsylvania is on the rise because Pittsburgh is on the rise.
For those of us here in Market Square, I can say that this project has been a part of our daily lives. And even though I'm excited for it to be over, I will be just a little sad.
3, 2, 1.
If you missed the Market Square ribbon cutting, don't worry, as the draft is here until Saturday. Celebrations will continue with lots of live music across the city. For Pitt to the Point, I'm entertainment reporter Michaela Albers. Farah, Nick?
Thanks, Michaela. Can you believe it, Nick? We are almost done with our final show of the year.
Yeah, time really does fly when you're having fun.
And I can finally see my family. They've been keeping me here for months.
I mean, the doors are unlocked, but coffee shops and Pitt clubs. Hang on tight for more from Pitt to the Point.
This morning, you take your place in this honored tradition. You take your place in a time of great challenge and even greater opportunity.
Community comes at the cost of your comfort zone. You don't just stumble upon community in college, you create it. I hope that your journey outside of your comfort zone eventually leads you to a community that welcomes you exactly as you are. Class of 2029, whatever you're feeling right now, I hope that sometime soon you feel at home.
Opening up a storefront around Pitt's campus can be pretty competitive, with a lot of different businesses all being so close together.
For more on Forbes' newest establishment, we go to Pitt Beat reporter Morgan Arlia. Morgan?
Many people are aware of the large amounts of coffee shops in the Oakland and Pittsburgh area. Yet, a new coffee shop opening up on Forbes Avenue is trying to make a new and unique experience for college students. We spoke to the managing director of the new Yemeni coffee shop, Kafina Coffee House, for more information.
Kafina Coffee House is a little bit unique because based on the way it was designed, that's number one. And number two, the approach of the company. What we're doing is, with this location on Forbes Avenue, we're putting something really nice. So it's going to be more like a high-end luxury coffee shop, but at the same time, it's going to be very affordable for the students. I know we're going to be accepting student funds. The other thing is, the coffee shop is going to be partner up with a lot of the community nonprofit organizations to help out with anybody that would be in need, whether it's employment, whether it's just they want to do some shadows, or they just want to come and use our coffee shops. The third thing is, our coffee shop has something that I don't think any other coffee shop in Pennsylvania has. Number one, we have something called a meditation room. We also call it a multi-faith room. And this room is designated for anybody of all type, like of all religion, to come in and use this room, whether if you want to pray or you just want to just take a moment and just use it for meditation. Last thing is, we actually have a conference room in our coffee shop where you can just book it online. For us, what inspired to start the coffee business is, this is something that comes back from my heritage. Like, you know, this is where I'm originally from, Yemen. And one of the things that I wanted to do is kind of share my heritage with everybody that I live in with.
Cafina Coffee House is planning to open in late July. So once it opens, students are encouraged to check out all the amenities it has. For Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt Beat reporter Morgan Arlia. Farah, Nick?
Thanks, Morgan. Now, it really would be an episode of Pitt to the Point if we didn't take a look at our Clubbing at Pitt segment, which has some wonderful organizations from all around our campus.
That's right. Our segment producer, James Carter, got to know one of the most active groups here on campus. Let's take a look at the Pitt Jump Rope Club.
Club sport at Pitt, we host 2 weekly practices on Thursdays and Sundays. They're pretty much open to anyone who wants to be involved. And then if you decide to commit to the team, we do competitions, performances, and volunteer around the community. Then jumped undergrad at Virginia Tech, and so they would jump at basketball halftime. So she reached out here to just kind of get involved in the same thing. And for our team being pretty small, it was a really big step for us to get our name out there. And we had a lot of fun doing it. We got asked back to do a second one during the season, so that was really big for us. I would say our second halftime show, we ran through our performance right before we went on, and we got it completely clean, and that just felt really assuring and really great to know that it was possible. And we don't expect to be clean every time, but that felt really great, and we all worked together, and it turned out really well. I'd love to see more participants on the team. Just collegiately, encouraging solo jumpers to come represent their college, things of that nature, where it's you don't have to be a ginormous team to compete, and we work together a lot in some of the competitions just so that people can be involved. So it's not really everybody for themselves, that kind of thing. So if we could grow our team, we could help other teams out and just really build a name for ourselves. I grew up jump roping at a summer camp, and it was always really fun, and I kind of started back up right before I came back to college, and I found them last spring at a club fair. And it was just 3 officers at the time, so I was pretty much their first new member, really got it started. So I feel having that bond with them, feeling I really helped grow the club and start it off was really wanted me to stick around, and I really like seeing them twice a week, jumping with them, learning new things, just something to get outside of academics, push myself somewhere else.
For our last news story of the year, we could not have had a better choice. So let me tell you that the rivers of Pittsburgh are a little bit more lively for the draft this season, with a visit from an old friend.
If you remember back in 2013, a 40-foot duck towered over Allegheny River in October. Now it's back, bigger than ever.
The current iteration of the duck stands at 61 feet tall, making it the largest rubber duck in the world.
It'll be located at Foster Plaza during the draft, and there will be several events and food trucks around to celebrate. Nick, that's our show for the year. We would like to thank you, our loyal viewers, for making Year 5 of Pitt to the Point the best season yet.
Pitt to the Point has come so far in the last 5 years, and none of it would have been possible without the incredible work of our broadcasting professors, Kevin Smith and Lisa Johnson.
We would also like to thank the University of Pittsburgh Athletic Department, the ACC Network and Pitt Studios, as well as the University of Pittsburgh's Dietrich School. Without your support, none of this would be possible. And of course, I have to thank one person, our intimidating but very nice TA, Noah Dan. Thank you so much for helping us.
We would also like to thank our ASM for all their help in the Peterson Event Center.
Most importantly, Nick and I would like to thank our amazing classmates. You see us at the anchor desk, but it's really the students behind the scenes that make Pitt to the Point an Emmy-nominated show.
So, on behalf of our classmates, congratulations to the seniors, and we'll see you in 2027 for Pitt to the Point.